Joining us this morning on Start Me Up is a startup, Ryan Shand, with a company called Jammber, and you are involved in the music business.
Yes, exactly.
And tell us a little bit about what your particular angle is. I mean, as a startup in the music business, I mean, you're not with a group, are you?
No, absolutely. So we are a startup where we essentially help support artists. So I think part of what we're here to do today is just talk about what artists struggle with in the day-to-day and how we can help support them, really.
And I understand that you are involved in the administrative, the drudgery, so that somebody creative wouldn't have to think about paperwork and filings and taxes and forms.
Exactly. So what we like to say is it would be helpful for artists to help act as a lawyer or administrative of yourself. So a lot of times we know as artists you want to focus on the creativity, and part of what Jammber does is help you take that away. But as for advice, if we're here supporting these artists, what we really want is to show you how you can help support yourself. Take note of all the paperwork you're working on, make note of who you're working with, make sure that you're saving credit so that when you work with these labels or publishers, producers, that you get paid.
And you had some examples we were talking about, for example, of people that have had issues in your product and service, among others, have helped them get through issues, and tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So something that we've seen is that in the studio, artists can spend 3 to 4 hours just on the administrative parts of the paperwork. A lot of it is Excel, email, text message, but mostly it's handwritten paperwork. And in 2016, that can get lost. And a lot of times, being artists or anyone in the world, we can really have terrible handwriting. So sometimes you misspell your name. It can be as simple as that. So we've had producers that we work with, publishers, people who lose credit. So essentially what that means is I may have a long last name, I may get something misspelled, and therefore I get dropped completely from the credit list. We found that not only do artists not get paid, but they don't get credit, which is the biggest part, because they want to be able to work with people in the future.
And this is all over the country.
Yes, it's all over the world.
So if I were, for example, starting or maybe a successful band, does this then interface with, you were saying, labels, but also others?
Absolutely. So something that we do is we work with producing rights organizations, PROs, and we work with labels, we work with producers, people who work more B2B directly with the artists to help support them. So we make sure that the paperwork is streamlined online. We make sure that we're saving their credit so that they can get paid. Because the most important thing really is to make sure that not only are you able to create freely, but you are able to sustain a lucrative industry or a lucrative business yourself in the industry today, which is very hard to do.
And so if I were interested in going ahead with something like this, I mean, how do I utilize something like this? Is it a mobile product? Is it?
Absolutely. So we really say that we are all about meeting people where they're at. We know that it's hard to adapt new products such as mobile apps and online platforms, but we do have a mobile app that's super simple. It's free to use. It allows you to track your credits. It allows you to e-sign and hand sign all paperwork that you're working with. And more so, it really gives you the opportunity to save all the credits you're working on. So even if you're a huge artist like Taylor Swift, you can say, oh, I worked with Jay-Z on this album, and I worked with Kanye on this album, you know, so it gives you the ability to pass it on to other people.
So checking it off, so it's legal, it's sort of the administrative payment and royalties and such, and what other aspects do the artists need to be concerned with?
I would say you think of it as like a QuickBooks and PayPal. It's really important to make sure that you are working with the right people, that you're working with people that you trust, that you're getting the right paperwork, and really finding that connection to people in the industry. So imagine a world too where it's almost similar to a LinkedIn of the music industry, where you have the ability to not only work with the people that you're working with day to day, the labels, your friends, but also people you may want to work with in the future.
Ryan, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. Very interesting.
Thank you so much.